keep it live. That's how we go with Good Morning to the Leader in You. And this is the 2-minute countdown. Leroy, tell everybody about yourself as we prepare for this phenomenal show on today.
Well, good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Leroy Mckenzie Jr. I am the president and CEO of GM2Leader Enterprises, LLC. And who we are is a distribution, publishing, and business consulting firm located here in Baltimore, Maryland. And what we simply do is assist individuals and organizations to bring their vision to reality. And we do that through entrepreneurship training or consulting. We do it through book publishing consulting as well, because we want to give you a voice, and we give you a voice by preparing you and your business through branding, through marketing, and through all of those processes that we assist you in putting together so that you can be in the market that you want to be in, so that you can gain the exposure that you want to be in, and actually so that you can grow and connect, build, and grow your business. So that's just a little bit about me, who I am, and what I do. It's just been it's been a whirlwind. It's been great getting ready to be able to launch the Good Morning to the Leader in You podcast broadcast. We want to welcome everybody. We want to thank everybody for tuning in, all of those that are on Facebook, all of those that will watch the replay, and that will see us on the other platforms that we have. It's your boy. Y'all know, anyone that follows me, it's your boy, Dr. Leroy Mckenzie Jr. And I'm joining Miss Catherine Trotter, and I'm just elated. We have these two beautiful queen-led that are going to be joining us today. I can't wait to hear them tell us just about who they are, what they do, and how they are impacting their communities that they are a part of. And they aren't here. This is how Good Morning to the Leader in You is. This is how technology works with you all. We have one young lady that is in Texas, and we got one that is in Virginia. So how about that? For our first show. That is just awesome to be able to bring you individuals that are from organizations that are from all over the country, that are just taking people. They are influencers, they are movers, they are shakers, they are people that are building. I call it, because my theme for this year is it's building season. Mm-hmm. It's building season. What are you building in 2022? And these young ladies are no different. They're building. They know that it's building season. They want to assist you assist you with the building of what it is that you do, and even what they do, because they're building as well. So, Catherine, you want to add?
Listen, Good Morning to the Leader in You. It is 9:31, so we are actually about to kick this off. We have two guests. We have Miss Shauna Turner out of the Virginia area, and we have Miss Angelia out of the Texas area. Listen, but it's 8:20 her time, 8:30 her time, actually. So she got up early to be with us. So we want to say thank you for that. First, we're going to kick it off with Miss Shauna. Then we're going to take it over to Virginia. And then we're going to bring up our guests from the Texas area. Miss Shauna, tell the good people that's watching now, that's going to be watching later, who you are, the name of your organization, and why you got started. And again, for those that may not know, Good Morning to the Leader in You is a collective of leaders across the states, multiple states. We're going to have different individuals coming on. We have some individuals that's going to be coming live on location. We have some that's going to be tuning in virtually. But the whole purpose of Good Morning to the Leader in You is to build this connection and collaboration among leaders, sharing tips and tools and how we can build and how we can go forth and how we can strategize in 2022. So Ms. Shauna, tell everybody who you are, the name of your organization, why you got started, and what is your mission. Oh, hit the unmute button. Oh, it's still muted.
Okay. I wasn't hitting it hard enough, y'all. Good morning, everyone. My name is Shauna. And you said why I got started. What's the name of my organization?
What's the name of your organization, who you are, and why you got started?
Okay, I'm Shauna Turner. I'm a mother, a grandmother. of course, I'm strategizing right now because I'm here with my granddaughter at her appointment. I'm a woman of many hats. I will say that. My organization is HR Mass, that's Hampton Roads Mothers and Men in Movement Against Senseless Killings. And the reason why we started my organization was because I lost my youngest son, who was 25 years old, on 12/12/2017 to gun violence. So the purpose was bigger than me. So that's why we want to continue his legacy along. And that's why I got started with HR Mass, because of my son.
And then what would you like the people to know, and how can people participate and support your movement?
Basically, because we're a nonprofit, you don't make profit. So basically, we do have many ways. If you're in my area, we are looking for volunteers. If you'd like to donate, we do have on my HR Masses page where we have a link where you can donate funds to the nonprofit. So that page would be hrmass.org. And then hrmass@facebook.com, and you will find a link up there as well. It'll say if you'd like to donate, you can donate to us that way. If you're in my area, donations isn't always giving money, because we do so much. Like if you want to, donate food, clothing, because we do actually do things like that as well.
Leroy, any questions?
No. The only question that I would have is can you, I know the situation or the mission that you have, what is one thing that you would say in your industry, with your organization that you have, that if you wanted people to know about the organization and who you all are, what would you say the main thing that you want people to know about the organization and what they can kind of say rally and get behind?
Okay, so we assist, we have pain support groups. If you know someone that's lost a loved one to gun violence or any type of senseless act, we would love for people to get behind that. We actually have blessed a mother with a headstone for her son's grave, although they don't have his killer. We can raise, we raise funds for things like that. Families that are in need of so many different resources. We assisted with homelessness, rental assistance. So I really don't have a specific, because we touch on so many things. I also wanted to state that I forgot to state my mission statement. I apologize, but we are the voice of all lives lost and the families left behind. So when you connect with HR Mass, you're connecting to so many levels of it, whether it's domestic violence, because guns are being used in domestic violence. People reach out to me and I connect them to the proper resources for a safe haven, or if they need funds to, just get away for, whether it's hotel or just to get on a bus, so it's weird. I say gun violence, but it connects in so many different ways.
And how have you seen your organization make an impact in the family's life? I know it has, because I've known you for some years, but for everyone that may not be aware of what you do, how has it made an impact?
It has made a tremendous impact, because the families and people that I talk to, they said that, they can relate to me because I've been through that walk. I've been through that tragedy versus someone that doesn't understand, that says, oh, you should be over it by now. Just get over it. Things of that nature. So I've made friends that I call sisters or brothers, that people have lost their loved ones, because they can reach out to me, whether it's a phone call or a text, to say, hey, I'm having a rough day today, so I do a lot of those things.
And I think what's so key and that's important of what you're talking about, because you yourself, your mother, you're a business owner, you launched your nonprofit, and this show is called Good Morning to the Leader in You. And so it may be other leaders out there that may feel challenged to get started, but you started in the midst of a challenge. right? And so
Absolutely.
anybody that's watching this show now, going to watch later, the purpose, again, while we're doing this, is to encourage other leaders in the community, to show everyone that even though you may have different dynamics going on in your life, that doesn't void you of your leadership capabilities or capacity, what you can do. Ms. Shauna shared, out of the death of her son, birthed HR Max. And so there are other leaders out there watching now, watching later. You may feel that you're in the midst of chaos or challenges or what have you. Sometimes in that situation is going to birth your business, it's going to birth your nonprofit, it's going to birth the next thing. So don't allow what you are in to hinder you, to stop you, to make you hit the pause button. It actually sometimes is the thing that's going to give you the very fuel or the energy to move forward. Now, of course, Ms. Shauna, share, initially what you felt after your son, was taken from you, right? But then when did it kick in? I'm not going to allow this to defeat me. I'm going to move forward and help other people. What was it that made you, I guess, the aha moment, if you will?
Well, because my son was such a shining light for a young man, and he had touched so many lives, whether you were young or old. I can go still now, and people still come to me that are strangers that said they knew him. So the aha moment for me was at that moment, because it was important for me. It's a part of my therapy. So I don't see you anymore, Captain. It's a part of my therapy. And basically, that was my aha moment. It helps me move around in my darkest moments. Although I will never, it seems like yesterday, because I relive it every day, but it's important.
What would you say to that parent that's out there that is, maybe it just happened, it's fresh, and as you mentioned, even though it's happened some time ago, it's still very much real and relevant to you as if it occurred not that long ago. What would you say is a word of encouragement to another parent out there that has gone through similar situations?
I would say that your processes that you're going through are normal, whether it's not wanting to get out of bed in the morning, whether it's, because you may have other children that, you have to be strong. People are always saying to me, you're so strong, but I'm not. I tell them, you see a strong woman, but I'm weak. So you have to let people know that you're not okay. And just take day by day, seek therapy to learn your coping process, mechanisms, because you do have triggers. People can say just one word and it will set you off, because they didn't, I wouldn't wish this on any parent. And basically you don't know the feeling, and it doesn't go away. So, oh, you see the baby.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get her now. Yeah, I told you I was multitasking. Y'all, I
apologize.
apologize.
It's okay. I mean, but you know what? That is the reality of entrepreneurs, business owners, and leaders. Sometimes we are multitasking, and we're not leaders void of family, right? So it is all right. For those that's tuning in now, or somebody might send you this link later. What is this all about? What are we doing this morning? This show is called Good Morning to the Leader in You, where we connect and collaborate with other leaders statewide. Right now, we're streaming from a Maryland location. And then we have two guests, one from the Virginia area and then another from the Texas area. And we do this to encourage, to motivate, to share tips and tools that we all can glean from, put it in our arsenal that we can use to do what? Implement. Because it means nothing to be motivated without taking action, right? I think we've all either listened to motivational videos or we've gone to motivational workshops. What do you do when the motivation, you don't feel motivated no more? The motivation gone, it went bye-bye. What do you do when it's gone? You got to stay encouraged, and you got to stay in a network of people, because it's a saying I'm sure we all have heard, iron sharpens iron. So this is what this network is. Good Morning to the Leader in You is a network where we sharpen each other. Leroy, anything you want to say on that before we bring on our next guest?
No, the only thing I think is awesome, the only thing that I would ask, I do want to ask this one last question. It's about becoming an entrepreneur. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because was this your first business? And then if it was your first business, what did you do in order to be able to try and prepare yourself into going into leadership in that kind of capacity? Because becoming an entrepreneur, especially if you're thrust into it as you were because of your circumstance and everything like that, can be daunting. So what was that transition like, going from, just working a regular job to actually now starting an organization, nonprofit organization?
So, Mr. Leroy, your phone is it went out. Like, it was totally, I couldn't hear everything you were saying. You just came back in, but I did hear something about the challenges of being a nonprofit entrepreneur, and also basically, it went out. That's why I kept doing like this. I couldn't hear you. It happened with Catherine a while ago too. Can you hear me?
I was just asking you about starting your organization, if that was your, if that was your first business that you had started, and having that transition from being a 9-to-5 worker to actually becoming an entrepreneur and starting an organization. What was that like for you?
Well, being a nonprofit, which I had to learn through Catherine, is still considered a business. I never looked at it that way. Yet I have had businesses before, but with a nonprofit, there are going to be a lot of challenges. There are going to be a lot of people, community. It's going to be rough some days. Sometimes, even though you have a board, you may feel like it's just you carrying all the load, because everybody works. Everybody has other jobs. When you think that, now, am I getting paid off of this? No, a lot of people think that I am. I'm not getting paid off of this, but it's my passion. So when you say that, just don't give up. You are going to run into a lot of roadblocks. There are going to be a lot of times you're going to want to be like, I can't do this. But if you know your purpose and your passion, and as I always say, the assignment, you continue on with the process, and it will pay off in the end.
Know your assignment, continue with the process, and it will pay off in the end. That's Ms. Shauna Turner. Thank you so much for being a part of this segment on today. We will follow up, but plug, before you go, plug your book. You was a part of a book process, right?
Yes. And I started 2 books that are going to be, when Shaq died, that was something I started, but due to the struggles of dealing with my depression and all of the PTSD and the anxiety, I kept setting it aside, and also legal stuff with his death. I am in the works of completing those, but what helped me do that was I was asked to be in 2 different anthologies, and I want to shout out to Dr. Karen Pruitt and also Christina Johnson for asking me to be in their books. And the first book was about, the struggles of being a leader in the community. And you got to, speak about basically what happened. So I am an author now. How you deal with those challenges. And the second book that just was last month was about mothers that go through their struggles and still trying to, be that mother, the rock, while you are having things go on around you in your life, and a businesswoman. So, and I also wanted to mention I have a podcast, thanks to Catherine, which I'm getting back to work on, because I wanted to mention, if it's okay now, the 1st through the 7th is National Gun Violence Survivors Week, and that will be every day this week in the evening time at 8 p.m. I will be coming on with different people telling their stories, whether it's the survivor or the perpetrator that, actually got shot, or, the person that pulled the trigger, how it affects. So, and you want me to get my website too, right?
Please.
I don't want to write that. Okay. So it's hrmass.org. And also it's hrmass at facebook.com and Instagram. I am on Twitter, but I don't really like it too much because it's weird to me. Like you can only do but so much on it.
Right. It's listen, we appreciate you for coming on. And also I want to say thank you for your transparency with what you share on the personal side.
Oh, yeah.
The reason why I say that is because a lot of times people in business or people that are considered a leader or some type of leadership capacity, they feel that they have to wear this mask and feel that they have to show that they're just this perfected person that's batting 100 every day. And that's not reality. And that's what this show is about. We're always going to bring people on that's transparent, that's raw, that's real, because that's the only way we can help another leader grow into their next level, into whatever the next will be, right? So thank you, Ms. Miss Shauna,
Yes.
we're getting ready to transition now and bring on our next guest, and you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Queens, and thank you, King. Y'all
You're
have a
welcome.
great
Thank you.
day.
All
And
right.
bye, Journey.
Bye.
All right, see ya.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Yes. And so give us 1 minute and we're going to ready to transition to our next guest. And we are back. Listen, Good Morning to the Leader in You is a phenomenal movement that we have been doing actually for 7 years, but now we're actually doing it live. And we're now about to transition and go to the state of Texas. Welcome, Miss Angelia. Listen, I purchased her book and I want her to share some gems from her book. We're going to let Mr. Leroy kind of lead the way with the discussion, and then I'm going to come back in. But welcome to the show. Just hit the unmute.
Good.
Thank you for having me. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. We want to thank you for joining us on Good Morning to the Leader and You, Miss Angelina. I'd like for you to start off by just telling the listening and viewing audience just a little bit about you, and then we'll go into, of course, what Catherine talked about, your book and all of that.
Okay. Well, my name is Angelina Rito. I'm from Austin, Texas, but I stay in Rockdale, Texas, which is a small town, little small country town. I have 6 kids, range from 20 to 5-month-old. I'm studying to be a wellness coach. I'm a HBN consultant. What else? First time publishing author. And actually, this is my first podcast, my first
Congratulations.
live interview with them. So I'm kind of nervous and excited at the same time, but grateful to be here. I'm very grateful to be here.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you again for joining. Now, tell us a little bit about your book. But I want you to start, if you can, what made you want to write the book? What made you say, well, I think I have this book inside of me, and I want to bring that vision of a book to reality? What was that point when you wanted to do that? You decided to do that?
Well, I decided to do it when I first got taken away from my mom. That's when I started writing. When we first got taken away, we was put straight into a shelter. And in that shelter, I experienced, when they take you out of your home, they're supposed to protect you. They supposed to remove you because you're in an environment that is unacceptable. And so when I went to the shelter, I felt a relief, because I basically raised my 4 siblings at the age of 9 years old.
Wow.
So it was kind of like a relief for me to be removed from my mother, because now it was time for me to actually be a child and be able to live a child's life.
Wow.
Well, the experience that I had in that shelter wasn't exactly out how I thought it should be. The mistreatment. I wasn't allowed to talk to my siblings. We were split up in different areas. We ate different times and different things like that. So at that moment, I just start writing. Because I felt like God wasn't there for me. At this point, I didn't give up on God. At this point, I felt like it was no other way out. So the only way out that I could see was writing. So I start writing. And once I start writing, it kind of relieved me a little bit, but then I stopped, because once we left the shelter, we was actually put into a foster home. So then different emotions start building up. I found out I was pregnant while I was in the shelter, and that was at the age of 15, so different things was just going on. And every day, you know, my foster mom would tell me, you know, write it out, you know, therapist, write it out, you know, and I just started to continue to write again, you know, and that at that point, I didn't realize it was a book until I dealt with CPS as an adult. When I had to go to therapy, and I was talking to my therapist, and it was my first time actually just letting everything out from childhood to adulthood and everything. It was my first time just actually letting it out. And she told me, she was like, Angelina, you need to write a book. She said, people needs to hear your story. She said, it is a lot of women and young ladies out there that needs to hear that it is okay, that there is somebody that goes through what they're going through, you know. And all along, I felt like I couldn't tell my story because I was afraid of what this person might say or how people might look at me, you know. And I have to realize, like, people are already talking about you. You know, they are, you know, they looked at Jesus a certain way. But again, at that point, I still wasn't connected with God. I still was blaming him for everything. You know, and when she told me to write that book, I started writing. I started really just deeply, truly letting it out, writing. And then 2019, God was telling me, you know, you need to write, you need to get this book out. It was like he was giving me these signs, but I wasn't seeing them. It was like I was refusing to see what he was telling me because I was so blinded by everything else, by my past, complaining about what this happened to me, this happened, and using that as an excuse not to move forward, using that as an excuse to stay where I was at. And I wasn't seeing it his way. Stopped going to church, you know, doing other things, that, you know, just being unbelief, just not having that faith or trust in him. So in 2019, I lost my job of 7 years. I worked for McDonald's. I was a general manager, and I lost my job. I got arrested. Just everything just went downhill. At that point, I didn't want to live no more. You know, and I blessed because if it wasn't for my husband or my kids, no telling what would I be or what would I be at right now at this point. But for him to encourage me and to be by my side and tell me, like, baby, this is not the end. We will find a way. You know, and I just felt like everything was just falling apart. Now, no job, you know, 35 years old, well, 34 at the time, arrested, nothing on my record, never been arrested, like just like really.
But you know, I appreciate you also for being transparent, because if someone is going to watch now, someone that's going to watch later, and they need transparency. I think we have enough of mask in our society today. We have enough of people trying to be this leader and but not really say all the behind the scenes stuff that actually went on. Because before you produce this book, all these things led up to this. Is what I'm hearing from you. All these different points and transitions and detours and things that happen in your life before you could actually birth this book. And we want to speak life to anybody watching now, watching later. You hear Miss Angelina being transparent and being honest about her transitions. And maybe somebody watching saying, well, I can't produce a book. I got too much going on in my life. You heard her share everything that she's been going through, or has gone through, should I say, and she still birthed that book. Talk about birthing of your book.
It was a journey. It was a journey. It was a challenge, you know, because I had to really be honest, not only while writing this book, but with myself. You know, if I want is to empower women and empower young ladies, I have to be honest with myself first. And it took some time. You know, it'll be some nights I write and I'm like, I can't even go, you know, I'll put it to the side. But it was just like, no, you have to keep pushing forward no matter what, you know, and that's what I did. And the crazy thing about that is when I lost my job, my best friend invited me to a Facebook group called I Am Beautiful, the movement.
Mm.
And one morning I just woke up and something just told me, I'm gonna say God now, told me, look at this group. And I looked at this group and I seen all these amazing queens that went through the same thing I went through.
Mhm.
And I was like, wow, I'm not alone.
Mhm.
I can do this.
Mhm.
And the founder of that group, she wrote a book, The 9 Lives.
Mhm.
And I bought it, I read it, and I was like, wow, I can do this.
Mhm.
I really can. So I contacted her. I asked her who her publisher was. She gave me her publisher name. I talked to the publisher, and every month we just met up every weekly and got the book done, and I'm blessed for that because I wouldn't have wrote that book. And it was so strange because God literally had to sit me down. And even though, I lost my job, I was arrested, I'm going through things that I'm going through right now with that, I'm blessed for that.
Mhm. It was a journey, it was a detour
Yes.
to go through. What was you about to say, Leroy?
No, I want you to give the title of your book real quick.
My title is My Truth, No More Secrets.
My Truth, No More Secrets.
Wow. And it's ironic that you said what you said about going to that Facebook group, because I lied to you not, Catherine, that every single client that I've had that has written their biography, and even other speakers that I've heard talk about their journeys, they said the exact same thing that you said. I thought I was the only one. And I tell them, and I tell my clients when they talk about writing their particular story, I said, your story isn't for you. I said, your story is to free someone else so that they know that you give them permission to be able to go through what it is that they go through, because there's somebody else out there like you that thinks that they're the only one. They think that they're the only one going through, and you give them the ability to say, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm not the only one. I'm not alone. This is something that, I can get through, because if this person can get through it, I can get through it. So it's important that I'm glad that you told your story and that you decided to put it in a book and to be able to give people, those that will encounter you and those that will read your book and those that will hear you speak, all of those things, you give them the ability to be able to make it through what it is that they're going through. Because there's another young lady, there's someone else going through what you're going through right now. So I think it was key what you said about about going through, because so many people have said that. I can't tell you how many people have said that they think that they're the only one. And oftentimes when we're going through struggles, we want to have that, woe is me, I'm the only one going through this, but we're not. And it gives us strength when we do surround ourselves with other people who have gone through something similar or going through the same thing, because it's like Catherine said, iron sharpens iron, and it gives us strength and gives us a mindset that we can go through. So,
but I also want to point something else out about this queen. Now, see, I didn't know personally this queen. Facebook brought us together, but let me tell you something that she did was strategic. She tagged me with her book along with some other people, and it was a promotional piece, but it was so tastefully done. I didn't even know her, but I bought the book on spot. She tagged me. She had her description with her tag. And I'm saying this for a reason. And maybe somebody out there that might be a leader, you might be in business, you might be like, but I don't know who's going to buy my book. Tag somebody today and put your story out there, because that's what this queen did. She tagged me. She put her story out there. And now guess what? We're building this Maryland, Florida. She's in Texas connection, building business in multiple markets. And it all started because of a tag on Facebook. So for those of you out there in business and you say, well, I don't have a lot of capital for marketing. Do you got a tag? Have you tagged anybody recently? Go tag somebody today. That's the moral, not the whole moral of this story, but I just had to highlight that, because so many people that are leaders that are in business that have come through and have gone through so many things, right? And just as has been very transparent, we feel we may not have all the financial resources to market our book or whatever your product and service is. But what she did is that she tagged me. I didn't know her personally. She didn't know me personally. But that also said she was bold, she was daring, and she said, I'm going to make a sale today. Okay? So good morning to the leader you. We also highlight business principles on how we grow our business. There's some principles that she did without even saying it. It says, I'm going to be bold today. I'm going to be daring today. I'm going to reach out to somebody I don't know today. And this is what we have to do all February. Talk about that experience and what you did. Why did you decide to do that morning? Because that's how we got connected.
Well, actually, again, that group, I Am Beautiful, the movement, the founder of it coaches you on how to utilize your social media.
Yes.
On Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So she, her name is Tashana Richardson, and she basically teach you how to utilize your Facebook. And she taught me, I took her class 2 years ago. I took it again just past January for a refresher. And she just goes through there and she teach you how to set up your settings in your Facebook, tell you the reasons why you need to open your settings. You know, she holds you accountable.
Yeah.
And she taught me that, you know, you have to tag people. You cannot be afraid. Yes, everybody is not going to agree with it. Everybody is not going to buy your product, but you need to tag, because not only when you're tagging and you're seeing it, like you said, but your friends as well see the tag. So not only, you know, you might not, you know, think this book is for you, but somebody else might say, oh, on your friend list, and be like, oh, okay, let me read this book. So, you know, it works both ways, you know. And some people say, oh, I don't social media this and social media that. You have to utilize, you have to use it for the right things.
Yeah. You got a copy of your book close to you to show? You got a copy?
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Awesome.
And plug the title one more time, and then plug how can people get your book?
My Truth, No More Secrets. You can get it on Amazon. Or you can get it off my online store, which is ourfuture.store. Ourfuture.store. That again, that is RFUTURE.store. You can order it off there as well. Or if you want to cash out me, I take cash up as well. My Truth 85, $15 includes shipping, and I get it right to you.
That's right. I got mine. Listen, my truth, walking in your truth as a leader. Yes. You need to get her book, get a copy of her book, share it with your other leaders in your community, share it with other business-minded people in your community. Please. Again, good morning to the leader in you is we're going to be sharing business tips and tools, but we also going to be sharing the personal side, because a lot of times people that are business owners, once again, sometimes we're in this box and you feel that you cannot be transparent. Good morning to the leader is all about transparency. It's all about transparency. Leroy, plug your book, because he wrote a book on leadership. You want to show a copy of your book?
Well, what it is, yeah, I wrote a book, The Art of Leadership. Okay, there it is. The Art of Leadership. It's the success strategies for the 21st century leader. And what I did in this book was I looked at leadership from 5 different perspectives, and it's the pillar of what I call the community, which is the family, education, business, family, education, government, business, and the church, and being a leader in one of those capacities or all of those capacities, and understanding what leadership is, because so many people in this 21st century don't understand what leadership is. How are you a leader? What defines what leadership is and what a leader is? So I delve into that so that people can have a clear understanding of who you are as a leader. You know, what are those characteristics that you should display or that you should have when it comes to leadership and everything like that. And Angela, I just want to say that strategy that you had, that's the second strategy that I have in my 7 fundamentals strategies of brand marketing and branding. And that's media, that's your technology. how are you using technology that we have, utilizing the different platforms that we have in this 21st century? You know, using Facebook, using using Instagram, using YouTube, using all of them. Catherine and I were talking about TikTok earlier, about how people are using. You got business people using TikTok now. One of my business associates, he's an attorney. He doing a TikTok. He doing a TikTok with the music and everything. It's just you just be like, really, you know. So taking advantage of the platforms that we have and reaching out. You never know who you're going to reach. You never know who that person is. It's going to be like Catherine with you, that saw your book, that saw that and was like, man, I've got to have this. Had you not reached out to her through Facebook, she would have never known who you were, would have never known your story, and would have not given you the opportunity now to have you on your first podcast, which I think is just awesome. You know, we appreciate you for being, you know, for having us be your first, you know, be the first podcast that you're all part of. And I would just say to you, keep doing it. I tell you this, my marketing consultant that I had when I was first, you know, trying to get my business out there and everything like that, she told me this. She wanted me to do 3 posts a day. And I was like, I ain't got time to be doing these posts. I'm like, I'm trying to do my business. She said, just try it. Just, you know, we want you to get into the consistency of it. Be consistent with it. And sure enough, to this day, it's a part of what I do every single day. I can't go because it's become a part of my lifestyle. It's become a part of my business and what I do as a leader. So keep doing that. Keep, you know, putting it out there. Keep speaking wherever, whenever. Tell your story. Keep letting people know who you are, what you do. All of those things. Keep on impacting the community that you're doing it in a great and phenomenal way, and letting others know that it's okay to talk about it. And
absolutely. As we get ready to wind down our segment for today, show your book one more time, share the name of the book, and the link is to where people can purchase your book.
My Truth, No More Secrets. You can purchase the book on Amazon. You can purchase it on ourfuture.store. You can cash out me as well, $15. Make sure you inbox me your address so I can send it to you. As well, you can follow me on Facebook, Angelina Rito, Instagram, Angelina Rito, just simple. And
yeah. And listen, for those of you that might have caught the tail end, hit the replay once we're done with this. That way you can hear the top of her interview and the passion and the history behind why she wrote the book. Very transparent, very real, very raw. And this is what we need. For those that are just tuning in or tuning in later, the Morning to the Leader in You is a collaboration of other leaders, people that are thinking towards the next place. Where am I going in my business, my community, my life? We are forward thinkers. That's what the Morning to the Leader in You is all about. And we connect and we collaborate with business owners statewide. So every Tuesday, we're going to be going live, 9:30 a.m. Next week, we're going to have another guest, a part of this show. So stand by for that. And we just want to continue to grow. And we're going to continue to build. And some of you that follow my page, you know, I always say at the end of anything I do, I always say, I'm going to see you at the top. And I know, Leroy, you have something that you've said over the years that I've heard you say often. What's one of those things?
Well, I usually
see you better at the end. What's it?
Oh, yeah. My assignment every year is to make people better by the end of the year than they were at the beginning of the year. To make every encounter that you're better after the encounter that you had with me than you were before. So I like to bringing you, being a part of something like this. When Catherine came to me, I was like, it was a no-brainer to me because it's making people better. It's making people better. It's giving people access to people like Miss Angelina here, who will make others, who are making others better just by her telling her story and everything like that. So it's always my goal to make people better after they have the encounter with me than they were before they had before me.
Absolutely. And we're going to continue to push your book. I truly connect, and I'm glad we were able to actually have this live talk, because it's one thing to have the book, but it's another thing to talk to the person, the author of the book. You get a different vibe, you feel it more. So thank you for being on, and we're going to continue to push it. For those that need business development and strategy assistance for your company, go check out my website, www.catherinetrotter.com. Follow CTR Strategy Solutions, also on Instagram. And Leroy, what are your handles?
Sure, they can reach me at my website, www.jnfenterprises.com. I'm on Facebook as well, JNF Enterprises, Instagram, What's Up Baltimore Magazine, Twitter, at JNF Enterprises 1, YouTube as well. Check me out on YouTube too, and that's JNF Enterprises as well.
Absolutely. And for those that's in the Virginia area, I do want to plug this Saturday, February 5th at 10 a.m. We are having Good Morning to the Leader in You breakfast pop-up. So I have several of my clients that's in the Springfield or close to the Springfield, Virginia area. We're going to be meeting up at Delia's. Again, that's Delia's, located 6715 Backlick Road, and that's Springfield, Virginia 22150. Again, if you go to my pages, you'll see the flyer. We are now doing Good Morning to the Leader in You breakfast pop-ups. This is going to feature some of my clients that I've served over the years. And the first kickoff is this Saturday. So if you're in the Springfield area, 10 a.m., we'll be meeting up at Delia's. And so with that being said, you got one more announcement? Oh, yes. And so we also will be launching the Clubhouse piece. So after we finish the whole Facebook piece, we will be doing and launching Good Morning to the Leader in You Clubhouse. So we know as many of you out there on Clubhouse, so just follow us. You're going to see what we're going to do. We're going to do a little teaser today, nothing full, but just a little teaser. The full one will go into next week, but we're going to see everybody at the top. Thank everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. You have a wonderful day.
Hold on for a second, Angelina. Okay.
Okay.
Don't go for a second.
Yeah.
Okay.